So the question is asked, which day is a Sabbath day? Right, so let's take a look at what the scriptures have to reveal regarding which day is a Sabbath day. So Exodus 20 verses 8 to 11 says, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it." Now, we see the seventh day and the Sabbath appearing in Exodus 20 verses 8 to 11, and we also see it coming as part of the Ten Commandments in Exodus, and we also see it in the beginning of the Bible, and that is Genesis 2 verses 1 to 3. And so in that creation of the earth, God had a day that he rested. Now, it is not that God was tired, or God is a God that gets tired, but of course it was an example to us that the people of God should rest. So Genesis 2 1 to 3 says, "Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made." So the important word, all the words are important in the scripture, but a word that I want to point out here is he blessed the seventh day and sanctified it. And so we're building on which day is the Sabbath day, because the seventh day cannot just be any day. We cannot take another day and make it holy. We cannot take any day of the week and sanctify it and bless it and make it holy, because God only blessed, sanctified, hallowed one day of the week, set it apart, and that is the seventh day, right? And people may say, but we don't know which day is the seventh day. Well, we have always had a 7 days weekly cycle. That has never changed. The only thing that changed was the fact that this 7 days weekly cycle, each day was given a name. So the Bible talks about the first day of the week, and the Bible talks about the seventh day of the week, right? And that has never changed. As I mentioned before, these days were only given names. And so based on our 7 days weekly cycle that we have, we know that the seventh day is Saturday, which is the Sabbath of the Lord. And we know that the first day of the week is Sunday. Now, how do we know that? All right, so let's take a look at Matthew 28. And it says, "In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre." And so we see the first day of the week is when Jesus was risen. And that is why we celebrate things, well, the world celebrate things such as Easter Sunday, Good Friday, because we know it is a fact that Christ was crucified on a Friday. He rested on the Sabbath day, even in death. Even in death, Christ revealed to us the importance of the Sabbath, a day of rest, the seventh day. And so Christ rested even in death. And on the first day of the week, the Sunday, he rose again and revealed himself. And so there is no doubt that we know which day is the first and which day is the seventh. Right? Also, there is no biblical evidence to support worship on the first day of the week. Yes, we ought to worship every day, but not every day is the Sabbath. And there is no evidence in Scripture to support Sunday, the first day of the week, to be observed as the Sabbath. Right? We see the first day of the week mentioned in the Bible and only in the New Testament 8 times. And I'll give you those references. We find it in Matthew 28 and verse 1 that I just read. We found the first day of the week being mentioned in Mark 16 verses 2 and 9. And I'll quickly read that. Mark 16 verses 2 and 9 says, "And very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came unto the sepulchre at the rising of the sun." And verse 9 says, "Now when Jesus was risen early the first day of the week, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene, out of whom he had cast 7 devils." We see Luke 24 and verse 1 as well, another scripture in which the first day of the week is mentioned. And it says, "Now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came unto the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and certain others with them." Now, if the first day of the week was a day of worship, how is it that these scriptures that we're reading now, we didn't find the people of old being in church on that day? But I guarantee you, they would have been resting and observing the Sabbath the day before. Right? But we don't see any evidence of any resting or any worship taking place. Another scripture, Luke 24 verse 1 that I just read, John 20 verse 1 and verse 19, Acts 20 and verse 7, and 1 Corinthians 16 and verse 2. In Acts 20 and verse 7, we saw a gathering by the apostles, by the disciples. So we'll see that actually. "And upon the first day of the week, when the disciples came together to break bread, Paul preached unto them, ready to depart on the morrow, and continued his speech until midnight." And so we see a gathering taking place here to break bread, not to worship. The gathering was to break bread because they have somewhere to go tomorrow. And in gathering, of course, as people of God, they worshipped. No, this is in no way saying that Sunday was ever changed to a day of worship. We have no scriptural evidence of that. That Sunday was ever sanctified, that Sunday was ever blessed, that the first day of the week was ever changed by Jesus or any of the disciples, any of the people in the Bible. It was never changed. The Sabbath of the Lord still remains. The seventh day of the week was the only day that the Lord blessed and hallowed, called it holy. God sanctified this day, and that has never changed. And we know which day is the first. We know which day is the last. And so therefore, there remains still a rest for the people of God, instituted by God at creation. He rested on the seventh day as an example to us. Jesus kept the Sabbath. The disciples kept the seventh day holy. The people of old kept the seventh day holy. and so should we, because we have no excuse in knowing which day is the first day of the week and which day is the seventh. God bless you.
Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, neither you, nor your son or daughter, nor your manservant or maidservant, nor your animals, nor the alien within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, but he rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy.